Today I'll be reviewing Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. I'll talk about the pros first and then the cons. First, what is this game about? Well, you play as a man named Skiff. Skiff was living in a small apartment when one day a strange rock fell from the sky, smashing his home and burning it down. Confused and seeking compensation, Skiff went to the zone, which is where the Chernobyl accident happened and also the birthplace of anomalies like this one. After a thorough investigation with his scanner, Skiff was ambushed by a stalker named Solder and knocking Skiff unconscious. When Skiff woke up, he set out to find Solder and his scanner. That's the basic premise of this game. Pro number 1. The sense of wonder. You get a taste of the zone when you wake up with nothing but a crude pistol and an objective marker. It's up to you to decide what to do, and you will quickly find out that this game is unforgiving. One wrong step and you're dead. Pick fights early and you're dead. Look in a wrong direction for too long and you're dead. Sure, it can be a bit frustrating at times, but it sure as hell gives you a sense of wonder. You want to know what happened to that place that made it so dangerous. Pro number 2. Realistic shooting and firearms. You will just as quickly find that the guns feel heavy and powerful. The guns feel like they're exploding in your hand, with animations that are unmatched. They can also jam, which perfectly complements the hopelessness of this game. Sure, the guns may jam a bit too much and turn into dead weight, but the unjamming animations are eye candy that I don't even mind it. Pro number 3. Atmosphere. There's a clear artistic choice here. The game may not be the most cutting edge graphically, but it sure has a clear identity, which is rare nowadays. At any given moment I can take a screenshot and it would clearly be Stalker 2. The weather changes dramatically throughout your time in the zone. Places you once visited feel different. It's strange. It's like being in a lucid dream. It feels both disconnected and grounded in reality. And believe it or not, that was the goal. The game is literally about a place that bends reality. Pro number 4. The world. It isn't a happy world, but it also isn't all-out apocalypse. It's dangerous sometimes, and that's what makes this game stand out. Having the world be dangerous sometimes and not in your face makes it feel alive. Sure, it's not where you'd want to live, but it also isn't hell. The world is also huge, and I mean MMORPG huge, and I'll talk about that more later in this video. Pro number 5. Good side content. The game features two main types of side content: side quests and side activities. Side quests are surprisingly similar to the main storyline, just telling a different story. I kind of wish they'd give you more rewards because everything is extremely expensive. That being said, the side content is definitely worth checking out. That's it for the pros. Now it's time for the cons, and I have a lot to talk about. Con number 1. Too much walking. I said I'll talk about the world later, and here it is. This game feels like a first-person Death Stranding game. If your playtime is 200 hours, then at least 100 is just walking. Having the world be this empty is a double-edged sword. It could be immersive, but it could also be boring as hell. Yes, walking is a chore in all games, but at least in other games you'd have something to do in between destinations. But seriously, in Stalker, sometimes you walk across the map and not see anything. Con number 2. No feedback. This game is not an RPG, but it sometimes insists on being so. Later, human enemies take full mags to kill because of quote-unquote better armor. That wouldn't be bad if you actually knew your shots connected. The game has no auditory feedback when shooting enemies except for headshots. That doesn't sound so bad, except it slowly teaches you to tap fire with all guns trying to get headshots, even automatic ones. And it could be realistic, but it's not fun. I want to know if I hit someone or not. It ends up being like so: shoot a while until they go limp. That's a clear contrast from the heavy and powerful sounding guns. Con number 3: graphics and artifacts. This game downright looks terrible at times, and I'm not talking about looking outdated. It looks glitchy and broken. Shadows are fuzzy, lights are pixelated and choppy, the foliage looks ugly sometimes, and it doesn't even load properly. Even when it does work as intended, it still doesn't look good enough to warrant the performance issues, which I'll talk about next. Con number 4: reskinned old tech. This game functions quite similarly to old Stalker games, and while I respect and fully support being true to the franchise, I do not support clunkiness and bugs. Things like NPCs just stop talking to you, quests bugging out, overall physics being wacky, and the worst of them all, horizontal camera movement is faster than vertical. Now that may seem like a nitpick, but in a first-person shooter game it is absolutely enough to make me drop it. Long-range firefights aren't bad, but when mutants start closing the distance, especially small ones, you just feel sluggish. You gotta yank the mouse down just to have a chance, and you can't turn that discrepancy off. Con number 5: severe balancing issue. I swear this game was designed by Kim Jong-un because clearly they had no idea how guns work. I said it before and I'll say it again. This game is not an RPG. Now let me give you an example of how stupid the balancing is. There's a gun called Cora, which is basically a 1911. It shoots 45 ACP bullets, which are quite powerful. Now this gun deals a lot of damage, it's borderline OP at times, which correctly reflects the powerful rounds. And as such, those bullets are quite rare and very expensive, which is to be expected. Now take the MAC-10, a fast SMG with pitiful damage, durability, accuracy, and range. You literally have to go for headshots only to be able to kill something. It's that bad. To put it into perspective, the first gun you get in the game deals more damage. Now do you know which type of ammo the MAC-10 uses? 45 ACP, the same rounds as the Cora, which deals an insane amount of damage. So not only is there absolutely no reason to use the MAC-10, there's no reason to use any 45 ACP gun because of how OP the Cora is. And to add insult to injury, the MAC-10 is found after the Cora. Not only that, it is much rarer and hard to come by as loot, while Cora is literally scattered everywhere. This is just one example. You get the picture. Con number 6: optimization. Managing to make a game run this bad is a feat in and of itself. There is no way they didn't throw competitions for who can make it run worse, because that's the only explanation I can think of. You gotta go out of your way to make a game run this shit. Stutters all over the place, literally never-ending stutters, FPS in the single digits sometimes, pop-in reminiscent of Minecraft on low view distance, and CPU utilization worse than Starfield. It's honestly impressive. The final verdict. It's definitely a good game. The devs were extremely ambitious and the talent was there. The ability to make it was there, but they lacked resources. Using UE5 was their first mistake, going through with it was their second. No matter how you slice it, a game with this scale shouldn't be on UE5. It feels like I'm playing a ticking time bomb. Any moment it will break, and honestly, if I'm fighting through bugs, stutters, clunkiness, balancing issues, and endless walking just to get to the fun bits, then it's not fun at all. I'll rate Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl a 6 out of 10.